you remember the last time you had amnesia?
No.
It's not a question, but it's if you think about, for example, when you drive home. Do you drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you had that experience of driving in a car when perhaps you're taking a familiar route home that you've taken many times, and you get home and you can't quite remember taking the journey? I mean, these are quite ordinary everyday experiences, but you know that feeling.
Yeah.
Good. I want to show you how you can create that, and also to be able to go into the trance with your eyes open. I want you to look at this pattern. And as you look at that, I want you to go into the trance, but keep your eyes open. You will have absolutely no memory of anything that occurs. Do you remember the last time you had amnesia?
No.
It's not a question, but it's if you think about, for example, when you...
One thing that we've been doing here is really trying to keep focus on the lives that have been lost. We're not focusing on the killer because he's gone, and frankly, we don't want him to be remembered, certainly not by name.
Drive home. Do you drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you had that experience of driving in a car when perhaps you're taking a familiar route home that you've taken many times?
We've tried to be careful and respectful of what the families here are going through, tried not to ever intrude on their suffering.
And you get home and you can't quite remember taking the journey. I mean, these are quite ordinary everyday experiences.
But after Sunday night's program, we got a call from the McDonald family.
But you know that feeling. Good. I want to show you how you can create that.
7-year-old Grace McDonald's family.
And also to be able to go into the trance with your eyes open. I want you to look at this pattern. And as you look at that, I want you to go into the trance, but keep your eyes open. You will have absolutely no memory of anything that occurs during the time that you're in the state. And whenever you see this polka dot design, whether it's on a screen like this or on a handkerchief or anywhere, you will move instantly and comfortably into this trance state.
I spoke with Grace's parents, Chris and Lynn, at length. They told me about who Grace was, the light of their family, a little girl who loved school, and her brother Jack, a talented young artist who lived life to the fullest, made the most of every day of her far too short life. I was amazed at the strength that Grace's parents showed. They say it is Grace who is guiding them through these difficult days. Here's our conversation. Tonight, we honor Grace. We will remember her. What do you want people to know about Grace?
Well, Grace had such a great spirit. She was a kind and gentle soul, and she was just the light and love of our family. She was just truly a special, special little girl that we loved, and she loved her brother so much, and she loved her school, Sandy Hook. In fact, this week I was telling somebody she had a stomach ache one day, and I said to her, "Why don't you stay home with Mom?" And she said, "No way, I have too much fun there and I don't want to miss anything." She would skip to get on the bus. It wasn't even every morning it was the backpack was packed the night before and ready to get on the bus in the morning and head off to school. We would blow kisses every morning to each other, and I remember that morning putting her on the bus. She had a habit of blowing kisses, but then she'd give me a big little liver lip, like, but then I knew she was so happy to go off and get there. So I'd like to say is that she was at a place that she loved, and so we take comfort in that we know she was in a place that she really loved.
And with friends.
And with friends.
People that loved her, and that's, I think, the whole community and the school and the teachers, they're all raising your child. And
exactly.
it's a special place.
It is. And I take comfort that she was with all her friends, and I just envision all of them holding hands, and they're all together up there, and they're up there with their wonderful principal. I mean, they have so many people up there helping them, and I said to somebody, like, just Sandy Hook, we have so many angels and so many bright stars shining over all of us in this town right now. And each one of those children was, you look at their pictures, they were so beautiful, and they all had a story and a talent.
What did you say to Jack? I mean, how did you... Because there's a lot of parents right now who are trying to figure out what to say to their children all around the world about this.
Telling him was by far the toughest thing to do, and I think what we did was truthful, honest words that he could understand, and hoping that he'll be able to process this, and how we help to guide him to process this over the long journey ahead.
You met with President Obama yesterday. What was that like?
We did. You know, I know he's the leader of our country, but when he walked in that room, it was a very private meeting, but when he walked in the room to greet us, it was just a dad. He's just a dad coming in to meet a dad and a mom and a son. And we really felt that. We felt his support, and it was really special. And we shared some special things about Grace with him and her art.
You brought him something.
We did. We told him that Grace had two things in common with him: their love for Martha's Vineyard in Hawaii, and Grace's dream was to live on the beach and be a painter. And so we offered him one of her paintings, which he said he would treasure. So that gave us great comfort too. But really just felt like a dad surrounding us and feeling our pain. And you know, when he walked in the room, I realized he has to go to so many families today, and this is not the first time he's had to do this. So I have to look at him and pray for him for strength.
I was talking to you before we began, and one of the things you were saying is you don't want to have hate or anger in your heart.
No, I had said that to Jack, that it's okay to be angry, because sure, we have anger and we're upset and we don't know why, but I told Jack that he could never live with hate. Grace didn't have an ounce of hate in her, and so we have to live through Grace and realize that hate is not how our family is, and certainly not how Grace is. And I know all those beautiful little children, they didn't have any hate in them either. So we'll just take the lead from them, and we will not go down that road, but we'll let them guide us.
It's a hard thing, though, isn't it, to not feel that?
We're going to go on, and we're going to use her positive energy to help guide us forward.
One of Gracie's favorite things to paint or draw was a peace sign. And she just had a birthday in November when she turned 7, and she requested, I said, what would you like your cake to look like, Grace? And she said, I want a purple cake with a turquoise peace sign and polka dots. And sure enough, her cake was purple, turquoise, and polka dots. It was totally Grace. It was so colorful.
It's one of a kind, too.
And it was she was all about peace. She really was. And I was looking the morning after, I was in the bathroom, and I used to dry her hair next to the window, and the window would fog up, and she would write notes in the window to me. And on Saturday morning, I was standing at that window in the bathroom, and it had fogged up, and I looked, and there was her peace sign in the window, and I was like, that's a sign from my Grace. And the paint above it said, Grace, Mom, and she drew a heart. So she was all about peace and gentleness and kindness.
You went to the funeral home, and you were telling me the story of she has a white casket.
She does. And when we walked in the room, it was the first time we had been able to be with her. And when we walked in the room and we saw that white casket, you felt like the floor was falling out beneath you and your breath was taken away. But earlier in the morning, I decided, because Grace loved art so much, we were packing Sharpies in our pockets. And when we got in, after we did our big family hug with Grace, we sat down and we busted out the Sharpies, and we decided that at first I had visioned maybe a little heart, but by the time we were done, there wasn't an inch of white. It was so covered with all the things that she loved. And her brother, we wrote her notes and her nicknames and all the things that she loved.
The
cupcakes,
places we've been together.
Ice cream cones, lighthouses, seagulls, and we were saying she is laughing at us right now because our artwork was terrible. But when we left the room, it was certainly so hard to leave her, because that would be the last time that we would be able to be with her. We had to take great joy in knowing that when we walked in there, it was so white and our breath was taken away. But when we walked out of there, it was like we had joy again. It had so much color, and it was grace. It was so grace.
You were able to give her things as well.
Yes, we brought her favorite pocketbook, and we had seashells and flip-flops and sunglasses, and she loved to cook. We had a frying pan, and she loved music. She has Taylor Swift Christmas song in there. She has she has her dad's New York Yankee hat. So she had all the things that she loved with her. So we had peace when we left last night.
It's got to be, I mean, hard not to have been able to actually see her.
Well, at first I thought that, and I had questioned maybe wanting to see her, but then I thought she was just so, so beautiful, and she wouldn't want us to remember her looking any different than her perfect hair bow on the side of her beautiful long blonde hair. And so we'll take comfort in looking, we have so many beautiful pictures of her, we'll take comfort in remembering her beautiful smile, and I'll remember her blowing me kisses that day, getting off on the bus, going off to school.
I want to thank the McDonald's for inviting us into their home. It was a true honor getting to hear about Grace. After that interview, I gave them my number, and I said that if there's anything that they forgot to say, anything that they wanted to say that they thought of later, to just let me know. And they should just contact us. This morning, we got a note from Mrs. McDonald, Lynn, that she wanted me to share here. And I'm not going to share you the whole note with you because some of it is private, but she wrote, "When Anderson visited our house, I showed him one of our picture books from Martha's Vineyard. I've always said that I took my photographs to be my children's eyes. I wanted them to remember everything from our adventures together, and now I'm not only going to be Grace's eyes, but I'm going to be her voice, for I feel fearless. I will never feel any pain greater than I do right now. I'm going to take on the world for our Gracie girl, for I myself have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Jack and Grace always said you have to conquer your fear. I'm doing it now for both of them." Such strength. I will not forget the McDonald's or their amazing Grace. You heard Lynn talk about giving President Obama one of Gracie's pictures. She gave me the same picture, a Xerox copy of it. This is an owl that Grace had drawn, and President Obama said that he would cherish it, and I'm certainly going to frame this and cherish it as well. Here are a few more pictures as we go to break.
Y'all got to start thinking on a different level, like the CIA does.